great questions. Well, FSU,
Mm-hmm.
15 out of 16 somehow they've beaten Miami through all these different eras, different coaches,
Yep.
different teams. And then this year, obviously with you guys, it was close. What is it about this rivalry, and what are you expecting tomorrow night up there?
I'm still learning, I guess, about this rivalry, but being in rivalries before, it kind of has the same feel. I'll be interested to see how it is up there. I felt like there was a lot. I think just South Florida, Miami being a big city, there's a lot of FSU fans here and a lot of Seminole graduates, so it adds to the fuel down here. But I'm sure it will be a great crowd up there because of the rivalry, and it's exciting whenever you have a game that's always important and always means something. It kind of always brings a little bit more, out of it into it. So hopefully we can start to shift the record a little bit and get some wins.
What is it about their team? They've won four out of the last five. They
Yep.
struggled earlier, but they've won 4 out of 5. What are they doing right
I
now?
think he's done. I think they have done a really good job of adapting and adjusting how they're playing. I think early on, and they still shoot a lot of threes, but they were just kind of shooting them whenever. They're real calculated. Robert McCray has played as good as any guard in the league since we've played him, and he's continued to down the stretch. And they have done a really good job of buying into their identity, and by doing that, it's given them great confidence and great belief, and they're playing that way right now.
Coach, what does that say about Luke Laux that he can completely shift his ideology
Yeah.
from one thing to another thing mid-season? Just what does that tell you about what he's like?
No, he's a good coach. He's a really good coach. He's been around a lot of basketball. He's a former player as well. I think that's the one thing in the ACC this year was kind of the new wave of coaches that have came in. They've all done a really good job of staying true to who they are, but also elevating the programs where they've been. You look at Will Wade, you look at Ryan Odom, you look at Luke Laux. I think those are the other new coaches that are in the league.
Mayor,
Yep.
your mayor.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But, just thinking about it, they've done a really good job. And the same with him, with it being his first time, I believe, I hope I'm not mistaken, but coaching in college, it is a different game. And he's adjusted and adapted to it. So he's done a really good job with that.
Coach, what's the challenge? You've seen them before, but like you mentioned, the different style. What's the challenge? Telling their guys, yes, we played them, but they look a little bit different and play a little bit
Yeah,
different.
they look a little bit different. We look a little bit different. You know what I mean? I think that's the big part. When I watched the game against them and watching the game back now, I mean, I don't even know who we were in that game. And that's the one thing for us that's, I guess, pleasing is that we have gotten better and we've grown since then. And that's always what you want to do. But with them, they're starting different. They're starting extremely big. They're still playing the zone. I think their size and their athleticism, when you see them in person, it'll shock you. And I think that's what they've gotten a lot of people with. And then with as good as McCray has played, and just his ability to get in the paint, draw fouls, but get other people involved is really what leads to a lot of their threes and how they've kind of grown. But I think their size and their ability to switch 1 through 5 and some of the things they do is very impressive.
You touched on the call about how the game ended. You touched on late game situations and stuff and other games you've been in.
Yep.
What's it like in practice, especially this time of year in terms of preparing for late game stuff and
Yep.
just everything that comes with, especially now, I guess.
We've always practiced situations. We have something that we do probably like 3 times a week. We call it a fire drill. And it goes through those situations where if we don't have a timeout, this is what we're running. If we got to get the ball, like we executed a play to get the ball to half court with 3 seconds to go instead of trying to chunk a full court play. We wanted to get it at half court at least, and we end up not doing it anyway. But at least give you a chance, a closer chance to get a shot off for a 3-point play. And that's something that we did in Florida State. We tried to go to length. This game, we went to half, called the timeout. So we've gone through those situations of each time where to get to, and I feel like the guys are comfortable with what we're going to run and what we're going to execute in those moments. Earlier in the year when we were practicing a little bit more, we would have what we call just kind of segments, like in the game segments. So up 2, minute 30 to go, and you play it out. Up 4, 2 minutes to go. Down 4, 2 minutes to go. Kind of going through those different things. So it's prepared us for these moments.
What was the team mood or mentality leaving that game the other day? Was it obviously you want to win, frustration with the ending, but what was there, positive thought in that you guys played them so close, another ranked team, or how did you feel the mood is right now on the team?
I mean, everybody. I think we have done a good job and have had a great ability to turn the page and get to the next thing. I think it's no different than Virginia. Right after the game, you're crushed because you lost a close game that you felt you could have won. It's one possession, two possessions to go there. We've always, at least from my perspective, our team has always had great confidence and great belief in how good we are. And it's no different. We feel like we can compete and play with anybody on the court. And the same thing showed with Virginia. And so now, it's a one possession game right there, tip ball, loose ball, whatever, and the game is completely different. We got a foul call at North Carolina State, made 3 free throws, win the game. We're on the other side of the coin this time. So that's just how the game works. But for me, in February, you want to be in games that matter. You want to be in games that are important when you're fighting for something. And we're still fighting for our season. We're still fighting for seeding. We're still fighting for a lot of things. And so that's what's most exciting about this time.
Coach, from game 1 to I guess now game 28, what are some of the areas that you think your team has grown the most in?
Just our discipline and our attention to detail. And that comes with just time of getting to know me as a coach and what's important to me. I think that's the first thing. I think to buy into our identity of who we have to be to win and compete in games. I think we've done a great job with that and kind of stuck to the formula. And then I felt like individually, as a team, but also individually, player to player, people have gotten better throughout the season and developed. I think one thing you can point to, like Ernest's free throw shooting from where he started to where he is. Malik's rebounding, Sheldon's consistency, Dante's growth as a player, the bench, Timo and Solly, their ability to come in and impact winning. So we've developed throughout the year, which is what you always want to do. So I would say those 3 categories are the ones.
How about the free throw shooting?
Yeah.
The other day.
Yeah.
How's that?
We finally have a great free throw shooting and a great 3-point shooting game, and then the other team also has the same. But that's just it's a testament to where we are in the development, and you never know when things will click and when things will start to click. You just got to keep doing the work, and the guys have done that. And to me, I told them this after the game, that's what a Sweet 16 game feels like. That's what Elite 8 games feel like. That's the type of environment and pressure situations and how each possession matters, and those are the games we want to be in, and that's where we want to be moving forward. And so that's what I just kind of want them to get out of that experience as well.
We can ask one follow-up on Ernest's free throw shooting. You mentioned it before. I think he was at 34% or something early in the season. What is it exactly that CY has been working? Is it mechanics, mental, both? What have you seen?
All of the above. You know what I mean? All of the above. It's something I think I may make CY just the program free throw coach with what he's been able to do with Ernest. But he's done a great job, both him and Ernest, of just working at it and continuing to work at it because they have the whole season. And then just trusting the process and trusting the plan. So it's all of those things. It's mechanics, it's mental, it's emotional. Of like if you miss one, it's okay. It's the same thing. So they've done a good job.
Coach,
Time for a couple more.
going back to the Sweet 16 Elite, what from you use that comment with other games throughout the season?
Yep.
And talking to your team like that, why is that important to you in terms of setting it up for where you guys would ultimately want to be at the end? Why is it kind of important to kind of relay that message consistently?
Just for those situations, because we're going to be in those situations, and it may not be hopefully it is a Sweet 16 or Elite 8. I'm not going to say it may not be that, but, we're going to be in close games here coming down the stretch. We've been in close games, and getting them comfortable for when we're in that type of situation again, you go back to, all right, we've been there before. We know what this feels like. We executed some games. We were able to do it. Some games we didn't. So just putting them and getting them to learn from that experience and learn from that environment and that moment to help us down the road. And that's kind of what it is because, once we got 4 more games. 4 more games, once you get in the conference tournament and the NCAA tournament, it's win and go home. So those moments even, I guess, come to the forefront even more. So just giving us confidence and giving us experience and data to pull from.
And just how would you evaluate how the decision were true off the bench and Dante, just how lineups, how rotation, how things have looked to you with that move?
I mean, I think out of the 3 games Drew's been back, he's played really good in that role. You know, I thought he played good against Virginia. I thought he was good at NC State. Everybody struggled against Virginia Tech except Trey, so I won't hold that against him. And I felt like, you know, when True was away, we found something with Dante, and I want to continue to grow with Dante in that moment and in that role. And for me, the punch off the bench with True gives us something in those moments where we got to make subs, or Sheldon comes out, or Malik comes out, or Trey has to come out. True out there being a scoring punch and having the ability to carry some of that load when those guys are out. I think it's a good rotation and good rhythm for us right now.
And also about Malik's, he hurt his finger. He had it
Yeah.
wrapped up. How is that?
He's doing good. You know, it popped out, got stepped on, so that kind of, I guess, yeah, it just kind of dislocated. I think Sheldon stepped on it or something happened, and so they had to pop it back in. You know, there was no fracture, no break, which is always the thing you worry about. But, you know, it's sore, it's tender, it popped out, so we'll see. I think he'll be ready to go, but take it day by day.
Luke, your stuff. I was gonna ask about.
Malik Stone, yeah, all good.
Anybody else?
Good. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Good
Appreciate
luck.
y'all.
Have a good trip.
Thank you.